Hi there, welcome to our channel, The Mustard Butterfly, a home for good, a home for change, a home for women. My name is Doyin and I'm the founder, and I thought it would be good to come on here really, not quickly, but just to come on here to share the vision, more about the vision, why, how we came about, and this is not scripted, by the way, so bear with me as I navigate my thoughts and try to, deliver this message. And so yeah, I'm just going to get right into it. You might need a cup of hot water and lemon and a piece of fruit or something to keep you going. I hope you stay the course and just hear me out. Yeah, and yes, welcome. Okay, just going to get right into it. How did it all begin? It began with me, with my story. I was an overweight little girl. I was carrying a lot of excess weight growing up, and I was okay with it for a while until I got to my teenage years, when I just felt very uncomfortable in my skin. I didn't like the way I felt. I knew I was beautiful. I always knew I was beautiful. Everyone else, maybe other people didn't, but I knew I was beautiful. I just didn't feel comfortable in my skin though. In clothes. I didn't like the way sometimes I smelled. I just didn't like the way I felt. And yeah, it bothered me so much. I tried a whole bunch of diets. I did a whole bunch of things, and thankfully, through that discomfort, I lost over 50 pounds. But I also more happened with that. I was able to heal from a lot of other health challenges that I had, and so it was a really good feeling. I felt good. I felt energy. I felt even more beautiful. I felt even more beautiful. I felt comfortable in my skin for the first time in a long time. I felt very good. I felt that I looked good in clothes. It was a big deal for me, and so I have to really really emphasize on that. But and so what came out of that is, thankfully, I've been able to write a book around that, because I did a lot of research around that time. So and I think with me as well, I wasn't just researching. There were focus areas, focus areas where I just zoned in, and I don't know what it is, but I know what it is actually, but I have a really good understanding of how food works, and it's something that came naturally to me. So I would do a lot of research, ton of research. I think I could have done a PhD in that time, but anyways, I did a lot of research on nutrition, and not just research. So I wasn't just reading, I put these things into practice. So I've tried every diet you can think of. Try me. But no, so that's what I did, and thankfully it got me to my desired place. I'm still learning every day. I'm still implementing different things every day, still trying, because there's no stopping this. I want to be at my peak physical health whenever, before I die, so for me it's a daily growth. It's all of that. But the point is, I was able to write a book around the research that I've done, and also obviously around my own experience, and I have titled the book is on our website, is selling on our website as well as Amazon, so you can head over there and buy it in your own time if you feel led to. The book is called A Story of Inflammation, and inflammation is probably the biggest issue that we face in terms of our health. It's at the core of everything hinders on inflammation. So inflammation, I think people think it's when you're big and overweight and you need to lose weight. No, this is a health problem. This is not just a physical thing. Some small people have inflammation. Is literally swelling. It's tension around an area that's stopping the area from functioning the way it should be. So it could be around your wrist, it could be around your eye, your joints. Inflammation is such a big deal. However, from my findings, it's so simple to fix. And so anyway, so A Story of Inflammation is written in a way that even your 10-year-old can understand that book. It's full, it breaks things down, because I think that's a problem of our time as well. There's just so many things out there, so many do this and don't do that and all sorts. But this book, what you will get from it is, you might feel like you need more, but what you would get from it is a good understanding where to begin, how to navigate, how to implement things, how to work things out. So there's no, I'm not telling you eat, 2 cups of this. No. It's just having you understand what food is doing to your body, how food and your body work, So I'm not going to speak too much about that, because I want you to read the book. So go and read the book. Go and buy the book, and it's very affordable, and honestly it shouldn't be that cheap, but I was given that price, so yeah, it has to be that price, and it's that price for a reason, so it can be in as many of your libraries as possible. So head over to our website, www.themustardbutterfly.com. I'm still getting used to it. Head over to our website and grab the book. If you're on Amazon right now, this second, you can also go on Amazon. It's there, A Story of Inflammation. It's also, it's there on the website and on Amazon. So go head over there and buy the book. Okay, so my physical health, that was tick. I was feeling good. I was, I felt good in myself. I was starting to feel comfortable. Things were going up, right? And things were going up in my physical health, but around me, there were issues. My family and I moved from Nigeria. We migrated from Nigeria when my sister and I were really young. Well, and my brother, but I'm the youngest, and so we were really young. We moved to the UK, the United Kingdom, London to be precise. We moved here. I was 11, and at this point in my life, where I was feeling really good and everything, things were still not set. So we didn't have our right to live in the country, our right to work. We didn't have a residency, essentially, and so that was a big deal in our family. That was a big deal to me. It affected so many things, and so for me, it was always a thing of, it was always like a prayer point. I grew up I'm from a Christian home, always known about the faith. I've always known about Christianity, but I guess I would say I didn't really have like my own relationship with God, and so I guess I was just living. I felt good physically, it looks good, but I wanted more. Like it just wasn't it. It just wasn't it. And so 2015, I remember that year came, and I mean every year came, and I kept thinking, and the only prayer point would be, God, we need our residency, we need our immigration status sorted. I'd been, at this point, 2015, we'd been here for over 10 years. To me, I'm more British than I am Nigerian in that sense, because my formative years were here. So there was that discontent around me, and so 2015 came, and I think at this time, this year I was just like, this is the year. I just thought, this is the year when it will happen, and I didn't know how, obviously, because it was never really a clear path in our case, in our story. And so anyway, so 2015 came, and I had that mind of, God, this is the year, but hey, I didn't know how. And February came, and there was this, I went to a church that did that put up an annual conference called the Winds of Change. Called the Winds of Change, and I sat at that conference. I'd been to that conference every year, but this year was different. I got to that conference and I sat down, and there was one of the speakers. If you're not Christian, by the way, and you're watching this, please hear me out. This is not me trying to tell you to be Christian. No, this is just me sharing my story, and I think, there's power in everyone's story. So please hear me out. And so I sat at that conference, and there was a preacher. A preacher is like a teacher of the Bible, of the Word of God. And he spoke, he generally, he's a person that speaks so simply, in the sense that he knows it so well. He knows the Bible so well, and he speaks about it with such conviction, because when you know something very well, you don't need to beat about the bush. You just go straight and simple, so he speaks in that way. And I like to think I'm that way inclined as well. Like, I do the things I know, the things I don't know, do not ask me, and those things I can speak about in a way that even a little person can understand. And I think this is how he was speaking about the Bible, and I'm thinking, I've been in this faith for all my life. I just didn't, but something clicked in that moment, and that was it. I ran. I took whatever it was. I can't remember what it was that clicked. It was something he was talking about Matthew. It was somewhere in Matthew. This is a book of the Bible, and I think I can't remember what it was, but he was talking about God as a teacher. I don't know, but I took that word and I went. I think I probably used the scripture that he, that hit me, and I went into the Bible, and I would read. Let's say I read that God can do all things. I would go to another place, and so if I see a word, like maybe if I see focus, I'll then go maybe on Google and type in what does the Bible say about focus, and it will give me different parts of the Bible that talks about focus. And I would just go around like the gaff, like just going around in circles and just finding out things. I'm quite the researcher. I'm quite the analyst. And so anyway, so I would read the Bible that way, and oh my goodness, it was such an amazing experience. Whew, it was good. It was good. Like I would read. Okay, so the one thing that really stood out to me when I started reading was I think I'd read about God is love, and I was like, okay, love. Oh, I was also hopeful for love that year as well, but I'll come to that. So I read God is love. I'm thinking, ooh, let's see what love is. And so I found out what love is. I think, not that I found out, I always knew there's this part of the Bible that every Christian knows, because it comes up in like every wedding. And so I knew this part, but I just wanted to read it, because this time when I read the Bible, it was different, the things I'd seen before, but they meant different. They stood out differently to me this time. Call it whatever. But and so I'm going to read it out, just in case you've never heard of this before, or if you're not Christian, you don't know. I'm just going to read it out. It says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And I love a good challenge. I think I'm a bit of a rebel in that regard. So I guess that personality trait came through here. And so it says love never fails. Never. You can't tell me never. And so I just took it as a challenge. I was like, well, if I'd seen that God is love and love never fails, then that means God never fails. And I thought, okay, cool. You don't fail, okay? I have requests. I've had requests for years. This one request, just give us our immigration status in the country. Let us be able to work and travel and do things, like everybody else. But anyway, so I had that request, but so I went to God. I didn't go to God with the request. I guess I went to God, like I said, to just get to know him based on the way this guy was speaking about him. And I thought, no, I mean, surely I should be able to speak to him like that as well. So anyways, I went with that mind to God, but I had requests. So I wasn't just there sitting there saying, I was just spending time with God, because I actually really, really enjoyed that time. I can't explain it, because you have to experience it for yourself, but it was so good. Like everything else that I'd wanted, I didn't have. And I'll list them now actually. So the first one, the main one, was I wanted, obviously I wanted us to be settled in the country, to have our rights to live, to work. Secondly, I was hopeful for love. And thirdly, I just wanted money, because we'd been in such a minus for so long in terms of not having money. We couldn't work. We just had to make do and do whatever we could without the authorities knowing to get by. And it wasn't easy. It's not an easy thing. Bless my family. We did really well, I think, but it's just not an easy journey. If you've ever been through anything like that, or if you're going through anything like that, you might understand where this has come from. And so in that moment, nothing was right around me, but internally I was like beaming, like nothing mattered. Just the only thing that mattered in that moment was when I got to my room, and luckily I had my room at this time, so I go to my room and just like, I had books and thankfully I didn't throw them away. I had books and I was just like and I was writing all sorts, and now I read them, I'm like, it makes sense to me, but I'm just like, oh, okay. I was writing, I was like, I felt like God was speaking directly to me. So out of that, I was not just sitting down, because I'm not the one to sit down. And so I would just get up and go. Like, I feel like God is telling me to go here, and I would just go. And so in all of that, I'll tell you one of my escapades at the time, actually. So I was listening to more Christian preachers at the time. I got to know more that I'd never really come across in that time. And so I would just really binge on those messages, the sermons, and not just that, but I would just go, like, if I felt like God was telling me to go and go and give someone something, I would go. Like, I was doing so much in such a short space of time. I think also another thing is, in that time, I there was one day I thought, oh wow, Doyin, you're going to be 24 on the 24th of May. So again, I don't know what it is, but I used that date as a thing, like a benchmark. And I was just like, okay, 24 on the 24th of May, that means this mountain, this problem is about to be slain, or these problems, the three things I mentioned. I thought, this is it. This is it. This is the date. This is the year. So I think I was also trying to do a lot of things in my strength, but also because I did feel led to do some of the things that I did. Of course, human nature, my personality came through in that as well. And so one of my escapades at the time was going to this conference called the Leadership Conference. Again, how I found out about it was because of a preacher that I was listening to that was going to be at the conference in London, and I thought, you know what, I must meet her, because every time I listened to her, she came alive. Like, I just felt like we were the same people without some aspects of her story, but I just literally felt like we were the same people, like me in a black form of her, because she's Caucasian. But anyways, that was how I got led to that conference, and even how I got the tickets, everything was just, it felt like I had to be there. It was full price, and I got a half price ticket. I don't know how, but I got a half price ticket. And these things, I just thought, okay, well, this is not a coincidence. I wanted to be here. I found it. I got it for half price. I'm meant to be here. Got there. First person I see when I was in the queue was somebody from my past. I was like, ooh, okay. It was all a bit spooky, or you could say coincidence, but I knew, because I'd been in that place with God, I knew that it wasn't. I just felt like I was being led. And so I did burn myself out, because in this time I was doing so much at the same time. And so I went to this conference, and I remember at the interval, like at the break, or the interval, whatever you call it, we got told, or it was in like the booklet for the conference, that you could go to the church that was hosting it. It was a Christian conference, I forgot to mention, but you could go to the church that was hosting it for prayers, or you can go for different things. Like, the church had different things on. I can't remember very well the details, but I remember that I saw that I could go to the church for prayers, and I thought, okay, well, I do need prayers, especially you know, this one thing that I've been wanting for so long. And so I went to the church and they have a prayer room. I got into the prayer room and I walk in there and there's like a group of Caucasian people we were standing or sitting, I can't remember, and I'm thinking, I'm not sure this prayer point is gonna really make sense to these people, because you know they don't experience this. This is their country, you know. So I went there anyway, and I thought, either way, prayer is prayer, you know. From what I know, yeah, prayer is prayer. So I went, and there was this lady. I think it was a lady. I don't think it was a man. I did think it was a man, but now knowing the church, I think it might have been a lady. I can't remember, a man. Either way, I went to this person, this Caucasian person, and they looked at me and said to me, how can I pray for you? And I was like, I looked at them and I started crying. I remember, I think I was doing my makeup, and I could feel energy going out of me, and I just started crying.